welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know I say this every time, but it has been a while. But today I have actually partnered with Experian, which I'm really excited about because it was an app slash website that we used so much when we were saving for our house and in the whole house buying process. So I'm really excited to be working with them today. And so this video is going to be about life after buying a house, with your finances and saving. And yeah, I just promise you there is a life after you put your deposit down, because I think that when you're saving so hard for so long, all you can think about is that house deposit, and then you don't really see like what's going to happen after that, and like how to get your finances on track and what you might be saving for after you put the deposit down. So I just kind of wanted to give you guys a little bit of a recap on kind of how we save for our deposit, but also what we're saving for now, and also some tips on how we're saving. Let's rewind a little bit. So we probably started saving about 2 years ago. So Ben and I have been together for 3 years, but we kind of knew like pretty early on that we wanted to save for a house. He lived an hour and a half away from me, so it wasn't like, it's not a super long distance, but I just really wanted to live together and I didn't want to do the commute all the time. So we started saving pretty early on. In the beginning we weren't really saving really seriously. We were kind of still like going on holidays and just spending money, and then it kind of got to the point where I was just like, we haven't saved more than a couple of grand and we're going to be living at home till we're 80 at this rate. So we had to really cut back on our finances, stop all the holidays, like just unnecessary nights out, eating out, all that kind of stuff. And then we started knuckling down and saving properly. And we kind of knew that we wanted to save around £30,000 because we thought our budget for a house would be around 300,000, so 10%. In the end, our house was 336, so we kind of knew it was going to be about around the 350 mark. So we ended up saving, with our stamp duty and our fees, I think it was about 36,000 that we put down. So a lot of money, and it's actually terrifying when you have the money in your account and the day you transfer it, because it's gone and you're like, oh, I'm so poor. But the money hasn't just gone, it's obviously gone into your house and into your savings, so that's a good thing. But yeah, we had this like goal in mind. We knew we had to save this amount of money, and then we just didn't think what would happen after that. But we've been in the house for about a month now, so we're kind of settling in, getting used to like how much our mortgage and our bills are going to be. And now we're thinking about, okay, what do we want to save for now? So a couple of things that we want to save for. The first thing is probably home improvement. So our house is beautiful. The lady we bought it from, she was really, really house proud, and it's lovely, but we obviously want to kind of decorate it to our taste. A couple of bigger things we want to do is put an extension on the back and open up the kitchen so it's like a big kitchen dining area, and potentially a loft conversion. It's already part boarded, our loft, but we thought it might be quite nice to put an extra bedroom up there. It's not a necessity, and it's one of the things, like if we save for it and if we can do it, then we will. So yeah, home improvements is probably the first thing that we're kind of saving for. Second is travel. We really want to do like a big trip, maybe next year or the year after. We've kind of always wanted to travel, and for me it's just something that I want to do before I settle down and have kids. So that's the biggest thing we're probably saving for at the moment. Other things, oh, I need to pay off my car. So my car is currently on a lease contract, but I always knew that when I took it out that I was going to pay off the balloon payment, so that's something else to save for. And I guess just like saving for a rainy day, like now we're homeowners, all those like things of like, oh, the boiler's just broke, or the washing machine's gone, or we need to replace this. It's kind of unexpected stuff that you don't really account for, but you kind of need a bit of money in the bank. So yeah, those are a couple of things that we're kind of saving for. We don't, like with the house deposit, we knew that we kind of set ourselves a goal. We had to save this amount of money, and roughly for sort of like 18 months, 2 years was our goal. So we don't have an amount or a time frame now, so there's less pressure, but we still do want to save a good amount for all of the things that we want to do. So how are we going to save the money? The first way I would probably say is just cutting back on day-to-day living. So I work from home, but with Ben, he works in London, so we've been like batch cooking his lunches on the weekend, and he will take his lunches into work rather than buying them. He's a massive foodie, so he'd always eat in like Borough Market or like really expensive places, and in London it's like £10 a day. It's 200 quid a month, you know, so we're like trying to save money that way. We've bought like reusable coffee flasks so we can just take our coffees into London rather than buying them every day. And even though I know it's like a fiver here and there, like it really adds up. And if it's something that you want and not need, you kind of, I think once you've bought a house and your money is committed to bills and your mortgage, you kind of realise that you differentiate what is a want and what is a need. And even stupid things like when we go to the supermarket, we always forget to take a carrier bag, and then like every time we have to buy them, and it's just money that adds up. And again, food shopping, like we're just really cutting back and just buying what we actually need rather than like going crazy. We've also started doing like a date night once a month, so like we'll take it in turns. He'll take me out and then I'll do something. We did like a really cool, or I like booked something on, I can't remember what website I booked it on, but it was like this secret jazz club, and it was in Shoreditch. It was really cool, so that was my date night for Ben. But even things like outdoor cinemas or like a nice restaurant, we just kind of felt like we would go out for dinner like a couple of times a week and think nothing of it, but now we can't really do that, so we're picking like one night a month and then we'll do something like special for each other rather than just eating out all the time. So yeah, that's kind of a few ways on how we are cutting back and saving money. As I said, I think when your money is committed to stuff, you realise that, you know, you don't have as much disposable income, you can't do what you want to do all the time, so we are cutting back in those areas. And also I think when you start saving and you see the money in the bank and it's like growing, it kind of becomes addictive, and you don't want to like spend that money on ASOS or going out. You want to put it in the bank and you want to keep saving because you know it's for something. So that's kind of an incentive to drive us to know that one day we will be able to like travel or build an extension on the house, and that money is working towards something. So yeah, that is just a couple of tips on how we are saving money on our day-to-day life. So Experian has been a massive help to us through the whole house buying process. If you haven't got an account, I would highly recommend joining, because to apply for a mortgage, your credit score will need to be fair or good, or like kind of like quite high, but if you log on, it will tell you, which I think is really good. What they do is, if it is poor, it will tell you how you can improve your credit score. So whether it's applying for a credit card and paying that back every month, it will give you like tips, and it will also say, okay, this might be why your credit score is a little bit lower. So definitely before you've applied for a mortgage and bought the house, get on Experian and make sure you get your credit score up, because you don't want to set your hopes and dreams on this house, fall in love with it, and then apply for a mortgage and it get declined. So just kind of be prepared. And I would say, I think we joined Experian maybe like 6 months before we were ready to apply for a mortgage, because we wanted to know that we could get our credit scores up in time, so when we applied it would go through. So yeah, it was a massive help to us before we bought the house, but even after we've bought the house, we've decided to both keep our Experian accounts, because when you apply for a mortgage, it can actually affect your credit rating, it can make it go down slightly. And if we wanted to apply for a home improvements loan, or if we wanted to do a 0% balance transfer on a credit card, it's just really handy to have. So like I was saying, that kind of life after buying a house, Experian can really help you again get your credit score back up to, if you want to apply for a loan or get extra help when it comes to renovating the house. Okay, so a few ways that you can improve your credit score. If you have recently moved but you haven't updated your address, it will affect the electoral register, so make sure that you change that, just otherwise it's going to have a negative impact on your credit score for no reason. Also, if you do have a high credit card balance, it can affect your credit score, so you can use Experian to see if you're eligible for a 0% balance transfer, so to just get that money over onto another credit card. So yeah, Experian has been a massive help to us, and it's something that I think we will still keep in life after buying a house, because it has proved a massive help in the whole house buying process. But yeah, I think that is it, guys. Those are my tips. So this is basically what we are saving for after we've bought a house, and how we are saving our money now. And I'm guessing if you guys are watching this video, you're either saving for a house or you've just bought a house, so congratulations. If you are saving for a house, like, one tip I have for you is just keep going, because it can be really demoralising at times. Like, it's a lot of money that you have to save, and I think it will probably be like the most we've ever had to save in our life, and probably will be like in one chunk. It's so much money, and we found it really hard to break through the £20,000 mark. I don't know why. I feel like we had like a lot to pay out at the time, or we just got stuck at like a certain amount for so long and we just couldn't get past it. But I think you just have to like keep on ploughing on, and make those cutbacks where you can. Obviously, like, life gets in the way, so like your car breaks down or whatever happens, you have to pay for stuff like that. But just save as much as you can when you can, and honestly, like, the feeling is just amazing when they give you the keys and you walk in. It feels so weird. For the first 3 days I was like, oh my god, this is our house. It felt like we'd just gone to stay at someone else's house. But yeah, it kind of like sinks in that it's actually yours, and it's the biggest achievement by far that I've ever had in my life, just to have worked that hard and for it to pay off, and you can just kind of stand there and be like, yeah, we did this. So yeah, this is kind of life after buying a house. There is a life after buying a house. Like, I know that some people think that this is it, you're going to be so poor, and yeah, you are, but you're happy, so it's worth it. But yeah, those are just a few tips, guys. I'm going to put together a few more home videos on how we sort of save for a house. And I want to do some decorating and interior renovation posts, so those will be coming your way soon. I promise I will try not to leave it as long next time, but until then,